The Thuban Council, which is directing her message to mankind, are not 3D beings, but of the 12th dimension, which is within the KHAA, also called the 96%, or the void. Abraxas is actually telling us that she is from the void, and that the 12th dimension is not in the physical universe. Abraxas uses a type of data streaming when she is transforming her message, just like Ashayana does, when she is communicating with the Guardian Alliance, and the Thuban message can sometimes be just as complicated and esoteric as that of Ms. Dean. However, Abraxas is not reluctant to answer questions when asked, and sometimes the questions are of high quality, and that makes her going. Some new and quite shocking material is being revealed. But why is she here? What does the Council of Thuban want? Because the Alpha Draconians are super bad, aren't they? If someone would eat you alive, it would be them, right? Not according to Abraxas. She admits, though, that there are Dracos in lower densities, who are more like savages in that respect, but she's the messenger of a very highly respected Royal Dragon Council. And of course, as usual, they are us in the future. Abraxas says we have a lot of Draconian DNA in our body, and that our reptilian brain comes from them. The reason they are here, preparing for the harvest, is because we called for them, our future selves, due to that it's time. The Thubans also believe that they are here, to assist James of the Wingmakers, whom they in most part support. And just like James Mahunahi and Hidden Hand, Abraxas has no intention to go public except on a few forums. She is of the conviction that those who need to find the information will find it. Just like Ra, the Kashopians, and others, the Thubans are coming only because of the harvest. And just like them, they are riding on the superwave. But there is a difference. The Alpha Draconians say they are in charge of the harvest. They are the highest order, and the ones who will see to that the harvest happens. She also says quite a lot about us, and for one, we are of dragon blood and dragon seed, and therefore we should come to them, and them alone. And fear not, the Dracos are benevolent, so she says. I believe there is the equivalent to a few hundred pages long thread, where the Birth of Gaia members interact with Abraxas online. I started reading it some time ago, and when you see through the esoteric language she uses, you mainly see similar information that you see when studying channeled sources, albeit she goes a whole lot deeper. Otherwise, it's the same love and light, STOSTS, density teachings, and ascension in form of a harvest. However, towards the end, when Abraxas gets into a dispute with a few of the forum members, it's getting extremely interesting. Suddenly, she lets her guard down and tells these people exactly what the harvest is all about and why they are really here. Suddenly, the whole subject on the harvest makes all the sense in the world. So I decided to write this paper, to reveal the same thing to you that was revealed to me, but without much of the complicated linguistics. Her message is often delivered in quite an esoteric language, and hopefully I can make the whole subject more coherent and easier to read than on the forum. Albeit, the forum is there for those who want to read it all, but it often requires all of your attention, to grasp what she's saying. Here is the URL, http://www.birthofgaia.com T116 Abraxas Thuban. The thread on the Birth of Gaia forum started on October 17, 2010. Enjoy. 2. Understanding the basics of Alpha Draconian cosmology and the Draconian star race. Abraxas starts with giving us a short introduction of the Council of Thuban, but goes more into details later on. She says they are not well known by any beings dwelling in the lower dimensions, but have been mentioned by the Andromedans, and their messenger, Alex Collier. When we look at what Alex Collier says about the Alpha Draconians, it is that they are probably the most misunderstood of all star races. He says he has witnessed a deep respect for this race, generated out of admiration and fear. He further says that the Draconians are probably the oldest race in our universe, and they don't even know how they came here. 1. The Council of 11, or just 11 for short, which is the Andromedan Council according to Collier, say that the Draconians were here first, and are therefore the heirs to this universe and are as such all royalty. Furthermore, They say that the Dracos have conquered big parts of the universe, and altered the DNA in species they have encountered on their conquest. Apparently, the Thubans have told the Andromedans that the most densely populated area of sub-races of Draconians is the constellation of Orion, Rigel, and the star system known as Capella. The Thuban thinks that fear rules and love is weak, and the weak are meant to be slaves. Therefore, they don't exactly bring peace where they show up. They use technology for control and domination, and they brainwash their young to be suspicious against other star races, including humans. Abraxas refers to Collier's paper, but neither confirms nor disputes the information therein. So this is the story the Andromedans are telling us about the Draconians. Thuban is one of the star systems the Sirians have conquered, so then the Draconians are pretty much in alliance with, or maybe even slaves to the Sirians, right? Not according to Abraxas. She is talking about archetypes ruling the universe, where the Prime Creator is on top, and the Alpha Draconians, or the Thubans, of the 12th dimension is an archetype of the first order, while both the Sirians and the whole alliance are archetypes of the third order. We will go much deeper into archetypes later in this paper. It means that these Thubans are way higher up on the interdimensional scale than the Sirians, or at least so they claim. However, they are promoting the third order archetype, as being the controller of this 4D reality. This shows clearly in the thread, where Abraxas promotes the second coming of Jesus, whom is none less than Jesus Lucifer Enki. But isn't Lucifer Jesus' adversary? No, according to the Thubans, Lucifer is Jesus' mirror, which means that when Jesus was battling Lucifer or Satan in the Bible, he was simply battling his own dark sides, the ones inside himself. Now, don't think for a moment that this paper will be a repetition of the previous ones about the harvest and the superwave. Although I'd gotten used to all that, this Thuban thread came as a shocker. All the following information needs to be known. At the top of the Thuban Council sit the 24 elders, who are the Thuban dragons, receiving their authority from the 4 beasts, and through them from the Prime Creator, or God. To be more precise, the council consists of 12 androgynous archetypes, that are mirroring the 12 existing dimensions, and are therefore fulfilling the role of mirroring all the dimensions, from the 1st to the 12th. It is my understanding that in Thuban cosmology everything is mirroring itself, and this mirroring continues on an upward gradient scale, up through the dimensions. I am mirroring myself as well, by also being my opposite, and the same goes for you. That's us here in 3D. According to Draconian cosmological model, each elder can be each dimension and at the same time mirroring them. So 12 elders in this sense become 24 elders, as each elder dragon is doubled. This may sound incredibly esoteric, but is basically nothing new. I believe I've seen this as old Gnostic writings as well. When asked if the star race are real dragons, and look like dragons, their answer is confirmative. However, how does a dragon look like? Well, when we humans found the first bones of the horrifying lizards in form of the prehistoric iguanodon, our imagination started working for us, and thus we created an archetype of dragons here on Earth. Then, as time went by, we more and more changed our perspective of how dragons look like, from fire-breathing flying dinosaurs to more T-Rex and alligator-like creatures. But before that, in medieval Europe, the correct picture of dragons replaced the old ones. Here they were two-legged human-looking serpentine creatures, the correct archetype of the serpent, which did not glide sideways, but like a sinusoidal waveform, which is up and down like the picture in an oscilloscope. This is how the dragons apparently move in the void. The Thubans distinguish between the sky blue or cyan-colored dragon and the red dragon. The former is the master dragon and the latter is in prophecy called the devil, and is so neutralized discharged in the entwined serpent or double dragon of the white Lucifer with the black Lucifer. But as long as we are reading this paper, we need to keep in mind who this group of entities, declaring themselves as being next under the Prime Creator, are. They say they are both our ancestors and our descendant, like so many others. The thing is, that if we look at this in perspective, there is a chance that each of these channeled sources, who say they are us in the past, and in the future could potentially tell us the truth. We have the Greys, we have the Pleiadians, the Cassiopeans, and many more. They all fit into this agenda, as we shall see.